Greetings from the School of Christian Mysticism. We're recording this morning the next part of the Gospel of Thomas in preparation for our meeting, our open meeting, to which everyone is welcome next Monday. And I have failed to have my diary in front of me, so perhaps we'll find that date before we finish today. So the verses from Thomas, the Logion, are starting on page 29, and the verses are 46 to 50. And we're using a particular version, which is the Gospel of Thomas, translated by Jean-Yves Leloup. So what we're going to do in this recording is Malcolm and I are going to read those verses 3 times, and we'll read them together. The first time we'll just have a conversation, an immediate conversation, really just what occurs to us in our minds. And then the second time we'll each pick out a line or a verse or an image which has struck us more deeply in the heart. And then we'll record the third time and leave you with that recording with a period of silence afterwards for your own contemplation. And on next Monday, everyone is welcome to join us, and we'll go through the Lectio Divina practice once more. And so this is a preparation for that. And then we'll have a live sharing on Monday. So we'll begin with the first reading. Yeshua said, "From Adam to John the Baptist, no one born of woman is higher than John the Baptist. Thus his eyes will not be destroyed. But I have said, whoever among you becomes small will know the kingdom and be higher than John." Yeshua said, "A man cannot ride 2 horses nor bend 2 bows. A servant cannot serve 2 masters, for he will honor one and disdain the other. No one drinks an old wine and then desires a new one. New wine is not put into old wineskins, for they will crack. Old wine is not put into new skins, for it will spoil. A patch of old cloth is not sewn onto a new garment, for it will tear."
Yeshua said, "If 2 make peace with each other in a single house, then they can say to a mountain, 'Move,' and it will move." Yeshua said, "Blessed are you the whole ones and the chosen ones, you will find the kingdom, for you came from there, and you will return. Yeshua said, if they ask you from where you came, say, we were born of the light. There where light is born of light, it holds true and is revealed within their image. If they ask you who you are, say, we are its children, the beloved of the Father, the living one. If they ask you, what is the sign of the Father in you, say, it is movement and it is repose.
Well, I must say I find verse 50, have done for a long time, as a most inspiring verse. They ask you from where you come, say, we were born of the light. There where light is born of light. Well, it's just so wonderful. Just such an amazing response, an amazing acknowledgement of one's true nature. Or if they ask you who you are, say, we are its children, the beloved of the Father, the living one. And if they ask you, what is the sign of the Father, and you say, it is movement and it is repose, that is um, more interesting, and almost in a sense. It reminds me of a very similar teaching of Hazrat Naik Khan in Sufism. Yeah, the nature of life, the rhythm of life, and the necessity for enough repose to balance a movement. So I wonder how it strikes you that line, Malcolm, particularly.
Movement and repose.
Mm.
Yeah, I think of Mary and Martha, of course, or
Oh,
Martha and
okay.
Mary.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is a good verse, which, I mean, we can discuss it between ourselves, but I think anybody who took a secular view, if we gave these kind of responses, would think that we were crazy. If we say to people, we are born of the light, we are children of the light. These days, that kind of thing isn't said, really, is it? I mean, it is said in some circles, but it sounds quite odd to people who don't get it. I mean, it's quite a high level teaching, actually. That's the thing.
Yes, yes. It, it is. That's what we're finding in these teachings, aren't we? But the younger generation, even people that we that don't have a specific spirituality. Some of them are amazing and speak of universal energy, don't they? And again, we come to quantum physics and the nature of photons, and not that I tend to be any expert, but well, we should try it sometime. Where are you from?
Yes, there is such talk amongst in the sort of New Age movement, and there is truth in that, but the concern there is that without a kind of anchor, it can go seriously astray and get into, we've discussed this before, I think it can get into weird things that are not necessarily helpful without the anchor of Christ, really, without the anchor of that faith.
Are you thinking? Yes, you're thinking about mental health.
Well, yes, but I mean that's one potential outcome is mental health problems, but it can lead people into false spiritualities that are taking them away from the path, and instead of keeping them on the path. So, well, this is all true, but taken out of its proper context, it can be damaging, I think. I just feel that. I've sort of seen that, I think.
Yes, and I see that too. Yeah, people that have perhaps spent too long on retreat, for example, and too long in meditation. Perhaps this line here, it is movement and it is repose, is some pointer to that, that actually we need movement, we need to be grounded, we need to be in life. And to balance that with repose, to balance that with sitting in contemplation, for example, being out of one's mind.
And the same goes for the notion in verse 49 of being the chosen ones. When that's taken out of context, that can lead and has led to all manner of extreme behaviors, really. We are the chosen ones.
Yes.
I mean, in context, yes, we are the chosen ones, but to think that makes you special and above everybody else,
yes,
is very much not Christian. Yeah.
Yes. I'm wondering about well, two things really. This because there's such an interesting thinking that you're bringing to this. I'm wondering, on the one hand, that we've been limited, as it were, through the church to the canonical gospels, which, apart from John, are perhaps a bit more, well, I'm in danger of bringing things down to an unfortunate baseline, but perhaps are more narrative and perhaps keeping things within a certain tradition. And maybe there's some merit to that there is the religion. After all, mysticism, in some sense, up to the present day, really has needed religion to have a kind of context within which to go more deeply, go, as it were, off-piste. to make it to bring it to have it within a safe context. But now people um, uh, um, meditate and so on outside of a tradition, and I think this is a really important development, but um, perhaps it underlies the importance of what we do, which is working within community, sharing within community. I don't know if any of that makes sense.
Oh, it does. I think community is vital for keeping us on the right path. It's instead of going off just with our own idiosyncratic ideas. I mean, I'm enormously indebted to other faith paths. As I've been engaged a lot with Buddhism, with Sufism, with Advaita, Vedanta, and all of those have got huge things to tell us about the spiritual path. But for me, that's all been done within the context of how that informs my Christian faith.
Yes.
Accepting that all faiths, all true faiths, have to have the same truth underlying them, but following one of them, otherwise it gets confusing. And I mean,
Yes.
I've been confused in the past, but now I see that the way for me, at least, is to follow the Christian path, but be informed by those other faiths, so that I don't stray. And as you say, the community is vital for that. The
Yes.
Christian community is vital, but not. Yeah, it depends on what kind of Christian community it is as well. Not all Christian communities are necessarily helpful.
Yes.
Certainly, some other faith communities have been much more helpful to me than some Christian communities. That's for sure.
Yes. Yes, indeed. There's yes, to delve deeply into one path, although one comes to the one truth through whatever path that yes, one can just never make any progress if one's dipping around the whole time.
I'm just looking at verse 47. A man cannot ride two horses nor bend two bows.
Yes, that's
If you're trying to be Christian and Buddhist at the same time,
yes.
is a tricky thing, because I tried it and it just doesn't, you can't do justice to either of them like that
No.
for me.
Yeah.
But other people maybe can. I know that there are Christian Buddhists, so for other people it obviously works. There are Christian Sufis, may I say, too.
Yes.
So,
But I think Sufism, the Sufism, for example, that I practice is not religion.
yeah.
Um, um, it's a perspective, which is
Yeah,
no different from Christian mysticism.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Um,
it's the same for Advaita Vedanta as well. That's not a religion.
yes,
It's a way of looking at things which is absolutely totally compatible with Christianity. Yeah.
yes,
A lot of Buddhists would say that that's not a religion either, actually.
yes,
In fact, it's been Christians historically who've defined what people's religion is. It's saying we are Christian, you are this, you are that, you are. they arrived in India, I think, and had to define what people's religions were because the people there at the time didn't see it like that. They were just spiritual people.
I think a similar thing happened in America with the Native Americans, didn't it? They felt that something was forced on them which they already had.
Yeah.
Interesting. The course of our conversation in response to these verses.
Yeah.
I was wondering about verse 46 before perhaps we have another reading and go deeper. I did glance at Jean-Yves Leloup commentary, and I think the main word really which I remember from that glancing was archetype, the archetype of John the Baptist, and that made me think about the archetype of John the Baptist within us, and and perhaps that brings something to bear on our conversation, that there is the rigor of John the Baptist, that it's he is an archetype of preparing the way, of producing the container, which is what we're wondering about, is there a container, and how important that is, to have that. He in life he led such a rigorous life, and his message was to repent, to turn and to turn again to the one path, really, to turn from an ego state into an ego-less state, but to make way. That's what we're talking about. Perhaps is that we need that rigor in our practice, and that only takes us so far, though. But it is a preparation for. I'm just looking at this about the verse 46. Whoever among you becomes small will know the kingdom and will be higher than John. Whoever goes through the narrow gate of John, in a sense, will go further.
Will we have another reading?
And after this reading, we're going to go deeper, aren't we? And by God's grace, that is, and just offer one phrase or word or image each. Yeshua said, "From Adam to John the Baptist, no one born of woman is higher than John the Baptist. Thus his eyes will not be destroyed. But I have said, whoever among you becomes small will know the kingdom and be higher than John." Yeshua said, "A man cannot ride 2 horses nor bend 2 bows. A servant cannot serve 2 masters, for he will honor one and disdain the other. No one drinks from old wine and then desires a new one. New wine is not put into old wineskins, for they will crack. Old wine is not put into new skins, for it will spoil. A patch of old cloth is not sewn onto a new garment, for it will tear.
Yeshua said, if two make peace with each other in a single house, then they can say to the mountain, move, and it will move. Yeshua said, blessed are you, the whole ones and the chosen ones, you will find the kingdom, for you came from there, and you will return. Yeshua said, if they ask you from where you came, say, we were born of the light. There, where light is born of light, it holds true and is revealed within their image. If they ask you who you are, say, we are its children, the beloved of the Father, the living one. If they ask you, what is the sign of the Father in you, say, it is movement and it is repose. Thus, his eyes will not be destroyed.
Eyes will not be destroyed. This perception will continue. It is movement and repose.
Whoever among you becomes small will know the kingdom. We come from the light in order to know that we must become more. Attend to my breath, movement and repose, and more.
Come to the third reading, and I will read those verses again and remain inside for neutral contemplation. Yeshua said, "From Adam to John the Baptist, no one born of woman is higher than John the Baptist. Thus his eyes will not be destroyed. But I have said, whoever among you becomes small will know the kingdom and be higher than John." Yeshua said, "A man cannot ride two horses nor bend two bows. A servant cannot serve two masters, for he will honor one and disdain the other. No one drinks an old wine and then desires a new one. New wine is not put into old wineskins, for they will crack. Old wine is not put into new skins, for it will spoil. A patch of old cloth is not sewn onto a new garment, for it will tear."
Yeshua said, "If two make peace with each other in a single house, then they can say to a mountain, 'Move,' and it will move." Yeshua said, "Blessed are you, the whole ones and the chosen ones. You will find the kingdom, for you came from there, and you will return." Yeshua said, "If they ask you from where you come, say, 'We were born of the light.' There where light is born of light, it holds true and is revealed within their image. If they ask you who you are, say, 'We are its children, the beloved of the Father, the living one.' If they ask you, 'What is the sign of the Father in you?' say, 'It is movement and it is repose.'" Perhaps my wife just came in. I'm not sure why. You're muted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to stop the recording now.